Biden's gaffes have gotten much, much worse. It's the gift that keeps on giving, and he made about 5 in a matter of 3 minutes. Check him out.
I know you say, Joe, you may not have a Congress. Well, guess what? You all told me I couldn't pass the Inflation Reduction Act. You all told me I couldn't face it. Anyway, we did it. We're going to bring rents down, as I said. We're going to build 2 million affordable homes. And cap rent increases of 5% a year so corporate landlords can't gouge. Anyway, I don't want to get going. I'm going to get very upset. But there's gouging America. And by the way, not only saves lives, it will save taxpayers just what I did on the first round on dealing with Medicare. It saves the taxpayer $160 billion because they don't have to pay these exorbitant prices to these anyway.
So he gives up completely in that last video. You can hear the defeat in his voice. It's just honestly sad. Like, it's elder abuse. People have said it many times. I agree with that. That defeat, though, is congruent with the leaks that we're seeing as well. So it's now been leaked that both Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have talked to Biden about stepping down. It's confirmed. It was an exclusive story with CNN about Nancy Pelosi's team, but a few others have reported on Chuck Schumer. And in the midst of that leak, there has been another leak from Biden staffers saying that he is much more willing to step down, which this is really fascinating because it's a completely different kind of thing that we were hearing than right after the debate when Joe Biden was kind of having that stubborn old man look. Eventually, when you have people out there leaking, you kind of have to step back and do something about it because it's your legacy on the line. So what's happening right now is that the leaks are coming from Pelosi and Schumer to put pressure on Biden. That's what it is. Because if they've talked to him and they've said, hey, the polls look really bad for you, buddy, please step down. And he's saying, nope, I'm not going to do that. Their only choice, if they want him to step down at that point, is to leak it to the press, which again, these leaks are coming at the same time as each other. So it's hard not to look at this and think, okay, there's a coordinated effort here, because if they leak it, now Joe Biden is forced to reckon with the fact that they are purposefully leaking it to put pressure on him, because essentially it makes the Democrat Party look disunified, which is a really interesting gambit on, Schumer and Pelosi, because it's like they're essentially at this point willing to make the Democrat Party look weaker and not in unity if it means getting Joe Biden out of the nomination. So this information is public. The odds of Biden stepping down are just way higher now. It's not something that I thought was going to happen, but at this moment, it is getting way, way closer, and we could be seeing a movement like this week or next week towards Biden stepping down. So if I had to put my money on it, I would guess that he right now is weighing whether Kamala Harris or someone else, but probably Kamala Harris, can do it. He's looking at the polling. He's looking at the strategy that I think Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and others have been talking to him about. And he's looking at it and he's thinking, can they do it? Can he not? Or can she not? And this is one thing that Biden and I actually have in common. This is maybe the one thing that we actually agree on. I think Biden is the Democrats' best chance at winning. Part of the reason why is because of the polling that's come out recently about what that looks like. They've done a lot of polls, Trump versus these other people. It's pretty clear that Kamala Harris, who again is the presumptive replacement to Biden, is no stronger. In many cases, she's actually worse. But the biggest problem with switching Biden out is turnout. Because elections at the end of the day are not about persuasion, they're about turnout. And you saw this in 2020. That's why they rigged all the rules to make it so they could get the highest turnout. And when there was, Biden won because that was the Democrat strategy. They did very good at it. Was it rigged? Sure, but they played the game and they won. So there's kind of two rules with turnout. There's two things that would affect turnout if Biden dropped out. The first is that if you choose someone and people don't know who they are, they're not going to turn out. So if Joe Biden gets replaced by Kamala Harris, yes, people know who Kamala Harris is. They're not going to know as well as Joe Biden, but yes, they know who she is. If instead of Kamala Harris, he's replaced by a Gavin Newsom, a Gretchen Whitmer, or an even more obscure person like Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania, the average person's not going to know who that is. And the problem that they have, Democrats at this point, is we're getting dangerously close to the election. And they don't have a lot of time to educate the public on who this person is, but they also don't have a lot of money, because if they replace Joe Biden, for a Josh Shapiro, for instance, they can't use the same money that Ben that Joe Biden, excuse me, I keep saying, I want to say Ben Shapiro, not Josh Shapiro, but they can't use the same money for a Josh Shapiro as Joe Biden because it's a completely different campaign. And so that's going to really affect how people see that candidate. The other problem is that it shows the disunity in the Democrat Party if Joe Biden steps down for someone else. No matter what way you cut it, you're going to have people who are very upset about the decision, some people are very happy, and those who are kind of middle of the line, not going to vote for Trump, don't really want to vote for RFK Jr., he may not even be in the race at that point, we'll see. They're going to look at the disunity and they're just not going to show up because, again, it's last minute, something slightly inconvenient comes up in your life, you don't go to the ballot box. Even if it's a mail-in ballot, if you're a Democrat and there's just disunity in the party, and it'd be very easy for it to just get stuck under the mail rather than actually voting, because what you see is your party isn't really with it. They kind of are weird because they had this, incumbent and they just kind of took him out last minute with someone you don't know. It's not going to play over well. The turnout won't be there, and Donald Trump will win hands down. So despite, though, being a dementia patient, Joe Biden is actually the best shot. I really believe that at beating Republicans. That ain't saying much, but it is the facts. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.